Hello Cancer, and welcome to your April reading. So we're going to be looking at a whole bunch of stuff today. Themes, things to expect, opportunities, things to avoid, advice, blessings. We're going to do the whole thing. So we're going to start with themes, and we're going to start with some theme cards. And while I am shuffling, just maybe take a couple of deep breaths and talk to your spirit guides, talk to spirit, ask some questions, ask for a sign. It's a general reading, so it's going to resonate for some, but not for others. But hopefully there's a bunch that comes through for you here. So wow, two cards popped out under theme, and you've got one with the sun, be the light, and you also have dream redirection, redream the situation. So I'm going to pull one more card from one more oracle deck before we switch over to the real meat of the reading in terms of theme. I'm just going to grab one more card from this other deck. So this is really interesting. It's like, you know, moving into this whole new direction, or, you know, even just like embodying your inner light, but from that place, like redreaming, redefining the situation that you're in. And you've got two more cards. Let's see what those are. So also related to theme, you've got what you want wants you, and the world wants to be written. And so what I'm seeing with all of these cards as theme is that you know, really like moving into sort of the like light aspects of self, and sort of spending time in like the, you know, place of levity, a place of brightness, and that from that space really like redirecting your dreams, redirecting the way that you want to see things happen for yourself, because you know what you want does actually in fact want you, and you'll draw that in as you like stand in that space where you're really like in a bright, beautiful space, because you know you're needed from this authentic, beautiful, bright, you know, spirit's like, I need you to shine this month. For yourself, you're gonna have that impetus of, you know, you're gonna feel good, you're gonna feel levity, you're gonna feel a lightness of being, and spirit really wants you to take that time to like, you know, dream redirection, redream the situation that you're in. Think about it from a whole different vantage point, because that's when you're gonna like manifest this, you know, the world wants to be written. This is like you manifesting, you know, I'm drawn to the butterflies, like, you know, manifesting, you know, new like aspects of your life and things in your life that are really going to be transforming and blooming for you, as you dream in a way that is more conducive to bringing in that which wants you, that you want. So it's like almost like standing in that place of like inner power, and you know, like bringing yourself into a really happy place, because that's you know, really going to be able to attract in some of that beautiful energy, that energy that you want, that wants you. So let's go and jump into just like let's like think about what the key goal for the month of April is. And as I do that, I'm going to actually just shift the camera down so that you'll be able to see me shuffling and see the cards as they come down, as they come out. If I can go. So let's take a look at a key goal for you to pursue, Cancer, in the month of April. What is a key goal for you to pursue in the month of April, Cancer? What is a key goal for you to pursue in the month of April? Just like taking a whole bunch, because a whole bunch wanted to come out. I'm just going to do it. All right, so space. There's a lot here. So I'm just going to try and get it all in the frame to the best of my ability. So to the theme of redreaming the direction, redreaming, you know, the direction that you're in. There's, you know, on either side of this, you know, giant, you know, spread of cards that came out in the way of a goal, is that Spirit is, and this is again, it's a collective read. It's going to resonate for some and not resonate for others. But Spirit's saying that you've been, Spirit wants you to redirect. With the theme dream redirection, Spirit also wants you to redirect, because what you wants you is critical to you knowing what you want. And your expectations being in line with what you want. So that to the extent that there has been like tremendous amount of disappointment and a lack of a sense of reciprocity, or reciprocity is the word that is coming through, to the extent that you have experienced that, have experienced things not coming back to you, in the way that you expected. Spirit wants you to start a whole new chapter. And the goal is to start a whole new chapter, to redream your situation, so that it's not causing this level of imbalance within you. Spirit wants you to focus on the friendships that you have in front of you, the friendships that are in your life. This is probably coming through stronger. This is a message that's actually very pointed. So for those of you that resonate, take what resonates, and those that you don't, definitely always reject what does not resonate. But for those of you that have been in this, really stuck in the space of disappointment, not getting what you want, not seeing the things that you want come into your life, putting stuff out there, expecting a return and not getting it, like unrequited love is coming up, a lack of reciprocity is coming up. And so Spirit is saying this whole redream your situation starts with a whole new chapter, where you recognize that like holding on to those things was causing an imbalance, and Spirit really wants you to look around and pay attention to who is in your physical world right now. Who are the people that are peopling the world that you're in? Because what's coming through is that there was a dream that you felt was going to, yield. There's something that you want, that you're waiting for it to want you, and Spirit is saying, no, as you redirect and redream the situation, what you want will want you, but at the moment where there's a focus on something that you want that doesn't want you. So like, this is a harsh message for somebody and not for everybody. And so Spirit's saying, like, start this new chapter and pay very close attention to the people that you're interacting with in your life. Whoever this message is for, this is a collective, but there's something specific coming through right now. Whoever that specific is coming to right now, if you're dreaming about somebody who's not in your life at all, they're gone from your life, been gone from your life, Spirit's saying, nope, bring the attention back into your life. That person is gone. Like, that's so harsh for somebody, and I'm so sorry to have to deliver that message like that, because it sounds like a real tough love from Spirit. But the reason that this message is coming through, and again, it's not going to resonate for everybody, but for those of you that it resonates for, those of you that are really feeling this, you deserve fairness, and you deserve a beautiful partnership and a stability, and a sense of spiritual expansion that is grounded and rooted. You deserve a beginning that is tangible, that will yield tangible results. And so Spirit wants you to move outside of dreaming that isn't in the right direction. If you aren't feeling like, if you're like a flower, in the shade, and you aren't feeling the sun, and you're like feeling like, a level of left out, Spirit's saying you're not left out, you're just focused in the wrong direction. And Spirit's really calling you to look at the dreams that you have, and look at the desires that you have, and look at the things that you want. And Spirit's asking you to, step out of the space of like incredible disappointment. And this is stepping out of this space, and step out of the space of a lack of reciprocity, and a lack of, you expecting things to come to you that you put energy into, and planned and expected, would return to you, or would come, or would, arrive in your life, and hasn't. And Spirit is saying, like, this is blocking you from something real that is actually closer to where you, like where you're actually interacting with the friends that you're interacting with and the people that you know. And through those people, you know, there's a sense in which, like, where you are is where your needs are going to, like, where Spirit is going to find ways to meet your needs. And so Spirit is saying, redream about this and, you know, think about it in terms of, like, what lights you up. And understand that it's true that what you want does want you, but it's yet to be actualized. And as something that's yet to be actualized, you know, the goal for this month is to, like, you know, start this new chapter where you are moving out of this place of a lack of balance because of a focus on, you know, what hasn't come through. Really focus on what's around you. Understand that there's gifts for you, that there's like equal give and take for you, and that there is a, like, very like grounded relationship or union for you, but that you have to redream it and rethink about it. And that doesn't even have to be like a relationship. It can be you know, a situation that it's a structure that is going to hold you and hold your life in a way that doesn't feel chaotic. It feels very established and safe. But the redreaming means thinking about the situation that you're in and the people that you're around. And I usually don't put sometimes I put the cards back in the deck and sometimes I don't, but Spirit led me to do so, so I did so. So I don't know if some of those are going to need to come out again, but, like, Spirit really wanted to, like, you know, have your goal be, yeah, start the new chapter, but it's a new chapter and it's a new setting, like, not a new setting, but it's Spirit saying, just like, you've been dreaming about the same thing for a while, and Spirit's like, I want you to dream something new, and understand that there are tangible gains to be had, but it's a new Spirit says, dream a different dream almost. So again, only take what resonates and leave behind what doesn't. So an obstacle to overcome. And, you know, you've got friendship again. So, you know, this is a lot of, for who are the Cancers that are resonating with it, you know, this is a lot to do with the friends that you have currently in your life. That's related to the obstacles that need to be overcome here, as well as where you're also going to find the road to your fulfillment in the redream, like, as you redream in alignment with your highest self, which knows what it wants and knows what wants you, but again, it's yet to be actualized. So this obstacle to overcome is related to, like, a friend group, and Spirit is saying, let me just take a little time with this. Spirit says, it's going to be the same message almost again, because I guess this is what needs to be drilled home. You know, in the month of April for Cancer, you know, Spirit's saying, I really want you to, you know, to the extent that I'm hearing, like, well, I don't have any friends. Spirit's saying, I want you to look in your tangible present, you know, to the reach of your current environment for the sustenance and the material to create this new dream with. And Spirit says, what I don't want you to do is look into, you know, illusions, fantasies, delusions for where you put your hopes and where you are focusing your dreams. Spirit's like, I want you to dream in a way that's grounded, and that can, you know, yield a secure, grounded home, like, and, you know, to the extent that you feel sort of lost and like emotionally homeless, for whoever this is resonating for, Spirit's like, you kind of vacillate from, like, you know, an emotional, like a sense of emotional homelessness into a place of, like, cold intellect, and then you retreat into a kind of, like, land of illusions. And Spirit really wants to work with you in the month of April, you know, to look into your environment for avenues of sustenance that will actually feed you, because, you know, this far off like land, you know, these illusions and things that aren't actually tangible, that aren't actually graspable. This is why Spirit wants you to dream redirection, because this is the, and look how similar these cards are. It's amazing. You know, this, both of these figures are sort of like looking off into the far distance, you know, and the moon is all about, again, illusions and delusions. And Spirit is saying, I want you to transform these illusions and dream in a way that will allow you to attract into your life what you do want and what does want you, from a place that where there's a where you can grasp this, where this can become a reality. And until those dreams shift, you know, until you're able to like rewrite what you're looking for, that's like, you know, that's sort of like the theme of April, is that like in order to really get what you want and what wants you, it's going to be something that you have access to, that is within reach. It's not going to be far off, you know, in a direction of unrequited, or just not what's truly tangible and what's truly available, and really even what you truly want. And so, you know, that's why Spirit says, I want you to, you know, really be the light and move into that space of light, bright, you know, oneness, you know, with this, like with the bright light, warmth, sustaining sunshine. But that's also about clarity and seeing things clearly. And so that's, you know, Spirit really wants you to take a clear view so that you can bring these things into your life. So, you know, in terms of like obstacles to overcome, let's just look at that again. Spirit, I need more information on, yeah, you know, Spirit wants you to move swiftly, you know, toward clarity, and toward, you know, a greater insight. And in terms of like, let's look at an accomplishment that you can look forward to in the month of April, because there is, you know, there's a sense in which your perspective, it would serve you to change your perspective in terms of like how you're dreaming, so that you can manifest that, what you wanting you into your life. And so what is an accomplishment for Cancer in April? What is an accomplishment for Cancer in April, Spirit? Ooh, well, that's pretty nice. In April, there's such a movement towards self-love, and there's such a sense of fulfillment because of this movement towards self-love. So, like, you know, this is a gift of love from the divine, but it's a gift of self-love from the divine, and like inherent worthy value, and really seeing yourself clearly, and like loving yourself and loving that inner child, and just loving who you are, and giving yourself, you know, meeting your own emotional needs. Spirit says, like, you know, like a sense of coming home to yourself. Like in the upright, this is walking away, but it's walking towards yourself. And, you know, the way that this is, I read it reversals very intuitively. The way this is coming through to me at this time is like, you know, walking home, being like walking towards home with yourself, you know, like going, like almost like you've departed from yourself and you're going home to yourself. Like this is what Spirit is showing me in terms of like accomplishment. So really coming home to yourself and finding that home in yourself is this stable, accomplished, you know, 10 of coins. You worked from 1 coin all the way to 10 coins, you know, and this goes for like, you know, and this is related to this, like, see this big family, you know, and so this established, earned stability and wealth of like, you know, you put in the work and and as a result, there is this, you know, as you come home to yourself, you'll find that what's there is everything you've been working towards. Actually, you know, that's where you're going to find it. And it's not going to come to you from an outside source. That doesn't mean that you're not going to get an outside source of love. And, you know, this is an offer of love. You know, it's not that that's not going to come from you, but Spirit is saying that, like, as you go home to yourself and you really like step into this wealth that you've accumulated of knowledge and wisdom and the wealth within your life, you know, in various areas of your life, in relationships and in, you know, projects and things like that, you know, Spirit's saying, like, you're going to find that by coming home to yourself. and not necessarily from an external source. And that doesn't mean that an external source won't bring you these things, but in the month of April, it's really about finding that within, because Spirit says, like, this is what's going to usher in this passionate new beginning for you that you're looking for. This is that new dream, that what you want wants you. You know, taking the dream away from, I'm waiting for somebody else to be the thing that fulfills me and makes me feel like I've accomplished, you know, this beautiful, like, stability and like home life. Spirit is saying, no, looking to yourself. That's going to be where you're going to get this passionate new beginning in order to really attract what wants you into your life. But it does take looking away from the external in order to bring that to you. And, you know, and this is something that you're able to do with this self-love that you're going to really be experiencing in a huge way in April. So this is just a pivot that is going to bring like a knowledge of self that is going to, yeah, it's really going to be that this, when I look at this self-love, it really speaks to me of this card being one with the sun. This is about that divine gift of self-love that, you know, is inherently yours, you know. And so Spirit is saying, this is a gift to you, is to just come home to yourself and realize what the wealth and the stability that is there, and to understand that the old dream of somebody else being, you know, bringing you that, once you're able to let go of that, that's where your inspired new beginning comes. And that's when you can expect to, you know, attract into your life those things that you want and that want you. And so let's move into, let's just ask Spirit if there are things that you should be mindful of avoiding in the month of April. Spirit, what should Cancer be mindful of avoiding in the month of April? What should Cancer be mindful of avoiding in the month of April? All right, so in the month of April, Spirit would have you avoid any kind of addiction, obsessive, anything that shackles you, that impedes your freedom, you know, anything that sort of erases you. This is what Spirit wants you to avoid. Spirit wants you to avoid any kind of addictive tendencies, be they toward a substance or, you know, a person, or even just like patterns that, you know, are self-destructive. Spirit wants you to be extra careful in April of being mindful of that stuff and trying to sort of like, to an extent, avoid it. Spirit says avoid, you know, Spirit says don't, you know, withhold friendship. Don't close down emotionally. Stay curious and allow that curiosity to lead you into new insights. And there's a new way of thinking that you're going to be experiencing that is going to, again, that's that mental effort to redirect your dreaming into something that can lead you to a place where you can tangibly have what you want, and that what you want is wanting you. So this is a new way of thinking. It's kind of like a pivot. This, you know, the Page of Swords is like a new way of thinking, a new insight that changes your thinking to the extent that it really starts you in a new direction in the way that you are, and to, you know, not withhold friendship and to not close down emotionally, because there's a sense in which, like, maybe that is a pattern, right? So, you know, when you're dealing with any sorts of like addictions or self-destructive behavior or obsession, you know, don't close in, don't withdraw, don't become distant from others, and, you know, and don't like live in a fantasy world where your emotions are all met like in, you know, a place of, you know, obsessive, like, you know, thinking. Or, you know, or again, like, you know, to the extent that you are numbing yourself, if there's like any sort of addiction issues, that's what's to be avoided. Because Spirit says, like, instead, you know, really take this new direction, you know, take the new thinking and the clarity of thinking and redream and think differently, and let that thinking differently inform the way that you dream, so that so you are dreaming for tangible results, and not dreaming to avoid where you are. Or to avoid unpleasant feelings. And so now let's look at what Spirit would have you embrace. What would Spirit have you embrace in the month of April? What should Cancer embrace in the month of April? What should Cancer embrace in the month of April? Oof, There's a lot. That's too many. I usually take the whole bundle, but I'm actually just going to take what fell opened. And there's a lot to embrace here. Let's see if I can move this into the frame. Sorry about all the jostling around. I just want to see if I can find a way to get all these cards in the frame. All right, so let's see. Let me just take a second with all this. Spirit wants you to embrace a move away from, this is coming through to me as brooding at the moment. You know, this King of Cups in reverse is coming, like I'm feeling it, like it feels like brooding. And so, you know, Spirit wants you to like move away from that brooding energy and really embrace your strength, because you have tremendous strength. There's no two ways about it. Allowing yourself, there's this whole mess of cards here related to a type of misery, a very specific type of unhappiness. Unhappiness that comes from a lack of self-love because of disappointments related to love. You know, right here, this is a sense of like failure related to like romantic love and partnership, and having, you know, failures in this arena of life, and having that like really affect your self-worth in a negative way and leave you in a position where you're just, you know, this is the ultimate happiness card. When it's upside down, it's not ultimate happiness. And so like to get to this position, again, it's reminding me of being, you know, one with the sun. You know, this happiness is for you, but it's going to require, you know, not letting, you know, these relationships that didn't work out, that you feel like, you know, some relationships that you felt like were failed attempts, to not let that determine your self-worth. Because you really, what you want does want you. It's just it just takes a imagining or thinking about it in a new way, or again, like to the earlier message for whoever that was resonating for, dreaming about, like, Spirit's like, what's going to make you happy and what's going to work for you and what you're going to be able to tangibly draw into your life and have, you know, it requires this redreaming, because you're going to have to actually look to like what's there in front of you, because, you know, Spirit says like your wish fulfillment is there. Your wish fulfillment is within grasp. And Spirit's saying it doesn't mean that like what you're looking for, you already know the person, or you already know the job, or you already know the area. Spirit's saying it's not about that. Spirit's saying your wish fulfillment is in redreaming and redirecting the way that you are trying to, you know, redirecting your dreams for you, in order for you to get tangible manifestations. And Spirit said, you know, and this means like, you know, moving away from a sense of brooding, and again, not fixating on relationships that you felt, you know, were failure, a failed attempt, because Spirit's saying that is, you know, your self-worth, you know, the self-love is coming in, you know, and this is a sense in which like not letting those relationships affect your sense of self-worth, and allowing that you know, loving yourself and allowing that self-love to be something that is like known, that one with the sun, that you know, connecting to that light within you. This is like, you're very strong, and this is how you bring in your wish fulfillment. That's the way that it ends up working out. And so let's look at what Spirit, where would Spirit have you find support in the month of April, Cancer? Where should Cancer look for support? Where should Cancer look for support in the month of April, Spirit? Okay. Oh, look at that. You've got some good stuff. Spirit would have you look for support, not in a scattered, reactionary way. Spirit wants you to be discerning in who you go to for support. Spirit says a lot of the disappointment that you've experienced is from a lack of discernment and who to turn to for support. Spirit says not everyone is going to give you good advice. Not everyone has clarity. And so really, that you're going to want to, again, back the word discernment is like really standing out to me. And like really looking to this this is like a maternal nurturing. I often think of this as the mother, sort of like the matriarchy sort of energy, like a, the queen of the home, the queen of the tangible, like tangible queen of the home sort of an energy. Spirit saying that this is a place where this is even the mothering energy, that this is a place where you can really look for support in April. And Spirit says, you can also look for support. This is a very strong, very, this is someone with a dominion over, their life, and the way that they operate within their world is coming from a place of personal power and personal agency. And so to look to this energy, this very grounded maternal energy, and this very powerful, energy of authority, those are places to look for help, and to understand that, like places, like people where there has been an ending, but it hasn't all the way ended, like friendships where you haven't spoken to each other in a really long time, but then when you feel like you're in need, you go there, or like, a relationship that failed, but you still end up calling this person, in that moment. And Spirit is saying like that person may not be clear on what's best for you, and like sort of reactionary, like reaching out, like just grabbing for help where you think you're going to find it. Spirit, so I want you really be discerning, and when you seek out help and support, to go to that place where there is, that person who has it all, person who seems to really have a tremendous amount of authority over their life and a tremendous amount of confidence as they move through life, and that really maternal, grounded, like mother or wife sort of energy that is as abundant and available to you, and going and not just reaching in a reactionary way in that moment, because that might not provide you with, that person might not know how to help you and know how to support you. So Spirit says just be very, very discerning when you seek help in the month of April. And so let's go to the Oracle cards to get some advice from Spirit before we close out, and just get some advice for Spirit on the month of April for Cancer. Advice from Spirit on the month of April for Cancer. Cancer. So Spirit is drawing your attention to this Aquarius energy at the bottom of the deck. And it's what I'm hearing is like, appreciate the beauty that is around you, but allow yourself to have a level of emotional detachment where there is space for discerning, and there is a space for finding it's like a level of detachment around appreciating things. So that, Spirit says, like, when you come across, you're redirecting the way that you're dreaming, and Spirit wants you to, like, it's a very odd advice that's coming through, but it's almost like saying, asking you to look at the situation with a level of like dispassionate interest, because you're restructuring the way that you're dreaming in order to manifest on a tangible level in April. And so leaning into your spirituality as a source of great strength, seeking a place of harmony in relationships with others that are in your vicinity, and also in relationship to yourself, understanding that like cause and effect, are always going to be at play, and that there is like a tremendous amount of fairness in all of this, and that the beautiful things and the help that you have put out there, that you are going to experience that balancing effect, but that it's going to require a little, like some tenacious planning, and that's that restructuring of the dreams. And so that is your advice from Spirit for the month of April. And I really hope that some of that was helpful, and that you were able to gain some insight. And I really hope that some of that resonated in a positive way. And it looks like it's a month of just like figuring out, like charting a new path forward regarding your desires that allows you to actually yield the benefits and actually see some of that stuff come into very tangible fruition. So that's a really great new pivot for you in the month of April. And I really, I hope that stuff was really helpful. And so I will see you next month, Cancer.